what's being reported in the dailies as we welcome you back to Hope at Dawn. We have the Daily Nation here, and the headline they are going with Exodus. Parents ditch academies. That is what they are reporting. Reality check: thousands of parents across the country have transferred their children from expensive private institutions to public schools as they reevaluate their priorities given the current hard economic times. This is piling more pressure on schools already facing serious staffing and infrastructure challenges. It's a story you can read on page 3, and it's a very interesting story. They're saying actually they have a case study in Bungoma Public School. It has received 300 new learners since January.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're saying because of the hard times, parents are ditching private institutions. And you know, at times we usually say the reason why parents are taking their their children to these academies and private institutions is because they want the best for their children. And when they go to the public schools, if the government can actually streamline public schools, the issue of private institutions actually, very few people will actually go to the private institutions. But as a parent, you look at the public schools and the infrastructure, the lack of space, even because you go and you find the one classroom and the number of students who are packed, let me say packed. So it becomes a challenge, even a tall order, even for that one teacher to manage. How do you manage 90 pupils in one class, or even 60, when we are being told that for a class you should have 30 or 35 students, but here you have double that figure. So it becomes a tall order even for the parents. So if we can have more the proper infrastructure, the government employing more teachers, then I think tunataka watoto wetu hata waende public schools.
It's true.
So you can read that story on page 7. And then this is the story that broke, was it Monday night or when? Friends again, Ruto, Raila, and power of a picture. So, and actually I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, even the color of their suits, it was so deliberate because it's a shade of blue. For both gentlemen. One is dark blue, the other one is light blue.
See it here
you see it?
Also.
Yeah. So they're saying, the Nation, they're saying the Kisozi pictures, they go beyond that Africa Union dream as projected by both President William Ruto and his political arch nemesis, Raila Odinga. They say they tell the story of brilliant political calculations, patience that defies logic, and the fragile nature of partisan relationships. By accepting Mr. Odinga into his fold and even propping him up for the AU chairmanship, Dr. Ruto has shifted the tectonic plates of the country's political landscape in his favor. He has presented himself as a true, forgiving and tolerant statesman who is willing to cross political lines and sheath his bayonet. Most importantly, he has, with little effort, put an end to the siege mentality that governs Kenyan politics, diffusing anger and sectarian tensions and pointing the nation away from the chaos of its virulent dogmatism. Hey, ile kizungu imetumika hapa.
Mimi hata kitu nimesikia ni Raila na Ruto pekee.
Where Daily Nation, whoever wrote that editorial,
but has that thing to do with a dog?
No. Yeah, but you know, you trust. So it's a story you can read on pages 4 and 5 and how this came to happen and everything. But you know, Kenyans, it's never a dull moment in Kenya, and especially you know, before we call them KOT, now it's KOX. And so when this picture came out, and there was Ruto, there was Raila, and of course Museveni and his flock, should I say, the cows that were the cows that were behind. So Kenyans of course started making jokes. So we can see Raila, Museveni, Ruto, nyuma sisi wa Kenya. Now, in a way, they were trying to show us that if ukiweka hii siasa kwa roho utaumia.
It's true.
Yeah, because you see, they already now in good speaking terms.
And I think they were.
Yeah.
They always are. You know, wanatoka kuinje, fracas, but they go and
then
eat
later,
together. They come, Nani.
So,
our wife will cook for us. You know,
so as Kenyans, wacha tusiwe kama au bidhaa wako hapo nyuma.
Hata hatuwezi
yes, tusianze kupigania watu hapa. All right. Yeah, so read that page 4 and 5.
Interesting.
Then another story which you can get on page 3. My 5-hour ordeal in hands of robbers. On February 13th, Nelly Kosgei left her workplace at 7:30 p.m. for her home in Mirera, Naivasha. What followed was a harrowing encounter with 5 armed and masked, mean-looking men. That must have been traumatizing. It's a story you can read on page 3 inside the Daily Nation. And there are also extradition hearing delays as U.S. fugitive drops defense team. Victim's family has expressed disappointment at the slow pace at which the extradition proceedings are moving. So you can read that on page 2. Homa Bay County will be hosting the 2025 Mashujaa Day feat. That's according to President William Ruto. Wiper, Raila camp plans to alienate Kalonzo in 2027 race. The former vice president's allies say his presidential bid won't be derailed by anybody. Yeah, so mipango washaanza kujipanga for 2027. Concern as family ventures into jeopardy. 35% of Kenyan households farm on less than 1 acre of land. Get that also and get to see what's being reported. The DN2 pullout today. Before then, looking at the county news, senators question missing 54 million shillings dished out in loans. Trader loses millions as liquor is destroyed. That is in Karatina. Then the DN2 pullout today, it's the higher education. Unemployment, agony of jobless varsity graduates. Technology, Moi Eldred varsities to develop apps, and transition woes why high schoolers shun university. And the TVET of the 21st century, what the government and other stakeholders need to do to improve technical and vocational education and training. Page 4 and 11, you can read that. Then I see this is what, world news. Can I get some world news, or we go to the sports page? Yes, we go to the back page first of all, and they're reporting how rogue county staff steal from public coffers. They use junior officers, including interns and relatives, to register briefcase companies. So read that back page. Auditor puts 3 ministries on the spot over 7.9 billion shillings. That is the Auditor General's report. Now the back, not the back page, but the sports page. Federation seeks to stop SDT from ruling in contempt case. Nyakundi and others want FKF officials jailed for 6 months for contempt. Man United will not change approach against Forest. That is what is being reported despite the 2-1 defeat in the hands of Fulham over the weekend. Spanish court dismisses lawsuit over La Liga's 306 billion deal. Against all odds, Rono rose from obscurity to stardom. You can read that in as far as Henry Rono's tribute is concerned. Rono deserved a state funeral, fellow legend Kiptanui says. Read that inside the Daily Nation.
All right, let us look at the Standard, and of course it's the Blues. This time not Chelsea, but Raila and Ruto. And William Ruto, I mean, William Ruto, I just love when Ruto realizes that, unaona, kitu niliwaambia. You know, those moments for Ruto are always legendary. Because here he says that I could almost feel the tone. And I told you that nobody would be a loser at the end of the day. I told you I would make plans, but some people thought it was a joke. But now things are okay and moving on swiftly, as you can all see.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
It's that moment for Ruto. I
told you so.
I told you so. Interesting. We'll see how this continues to play out. But I would say I saw a different person on the Benny Hinn's event in Ruto. Like, this guy was just quoting Bible verses, leading praise. on just another level.
Ruto, he knows how to play these things.
He knows how to play these things.
And balancing.
And balancing things.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was thinking, if indeed he's a man of God, and indeed, this the First Lady Rachel Ruto is actually a prayerful woman.
Yeah.
And then we have Dorcas on this other side being a pastor. If this faith of theirs is actually true, trust me, God is the one who placed them there.
Amen.
And there is, even when we don't like some of the things, it could be for our own good at the end of it.
And during that crusade, he actually said when he got the revelation that he would become president.
It was in a crusade.
It was in a crusade.
If indeed these words are true, my friends, wacha niwaite kama my friends.
My friends.
Anyway, we won't say much, but let us continue.
My friends.
Hey, all right, that's a story you can find on page 4 and 6. And of course, it says that the president and his newfound ally were in Uganda to seek President Yoweri Museveni's nod on their quest for the AU Commission top seat on Monday. Hardly had Kenyans absorbed it than Ruto said in Homa Bay yesterday that it is all systems go in push to get Raila to Addis Ababa. Oh my goodness, no sooner than. But moving on, I see on page 2, pain of students seeking to apply for varsity college courses in vain. Students are still unable to successfully submit their applications, even after Mashogu gave assurance. This is really, really unfortunate. A story on page 2. Page 3, I see cry of Samburu who where 200 die in months. Oh, my. This is the banditry that is going on. Residents in cattle rustling prone Samburu County living at the mercy of bandits, and leaders desperate as government continues to talk tough with little achievements on the ground. Moving forward, I see Ruto gets warm reception in Raila Nyanza Bastion after handshake, which is in quotes. That's the same story we touched on. That is on page 4 all through to 6. And then moving on, I see governors clash with the ministry for ignoring them in health laws. Also, we see MPs query plan for each spouse to pay for SHIF. I see lawmakers want health officials to clarify why payment is to be done by individual spouse. An official then explained that contribution will be based on individual households.
So if you're married, it will be one person contributing.
That's what they want. But then hapa naona why payment is to be done by individual spouse. I think now, why is it being done by one person instead of
they're saying household. So if it's a household, if you're married, then one person should be the one contributing.
It's true.
Umesikia wapi?
Umesikia
wapi?
This our nation. This our nation. I see Daniel Mwai here saying within the act there is a provision of extra spouse to pay as an individual. The how of doing it is what we are discussing. Okay. We'll not call them, they will call us. And then I see making Homa Bay a premier investment destination. Look at that on page 10. And there is something that I've seen here on the pullout that I think is very much interesting on the enterprise. I see some decisions are well-meaning but end up doing the enterprise more harm than good. So these are top mistakes founders make that hinder growth of their business. That is on the pullout. Page 4 of the pullout in the Standard. And then tukienda huku nyuma kwenye sports, I see Reds Blues switch focus to FA Cup. Carabao Cup champions Liverpool host Saints while Chelsea face Leeds. Manchester United seek to bounce back from Fulham defeat against Nottingham. All right, and I also see here Kipchoge eyes glory in Japan. That is on the sports page 39. And on the business page as well, more delays in Kenya oil dream. Beautiful. All right, that's it for the Standard.
All right. Business Daily, CMA allows firms to guard against share price falls in IPO. SRC rejecting push for 100,000 shillings pension for ex-MPs. KRA waives 209 billion shillings fines, interest for taxpayers. And new vehicle sales fall 15% on a tough economy.
Wow.
Then I think this one, I have seen you with a bottle every morning. So we'll tell us, because the BD, they have an article on page 19, the life section. Ginger shots and okra water fever hits Kenyan women. Yeah, so Kenyans, especially women, obsessing over ginger, lemon shots, and okra water have created a new demand for the three vegetables, causing a spike in prices. So if you walk around offices or in Nairobi, you may have noticed workers with bottles of homemade juices and tens of hawkers now selling ginger, lemon, and okra on the streets.
Wow.
Yeah, so the ginger shots, the concentrated beverages made from fresh ginger root and lime, and okra water, which is water infused with small pieces of okra or seeds and steeped overnight, are gaining traction on social media and in Kenyan homes.
Uzuri yangu inakuanga tu ni kahawa ama maji pure. Yes. Yes, I don't do those
Sio
okra,
ginger,
okra. No.
okra.
Hizo vitu kali ni kunywe za
That's what's being reported in the dailies this morning. And you can grab your favorite copy, get to see what's being reported. A lot of stuff is being reported there. So get to see what's happening, read about our nation, different counties as well. And let's continue to pray for the nation and also the leadership of both the national and the county governments.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. All right. Let us look at the video of the day and then we'll come back to talk about it.